Some really terrible stuff for Ukraine happening right now. Let's put this satellite image up on the screen. This was taken just 5 days ago. So for those who are just listening, this is a satellite view of Europe, and you can see streetlights and other lights shining across the entire continent, from Russia, even in Turkey, down below, Bulgaria, Romania, and there's just a massive black hole in the middle of it. Some of that is the Black Sea. The other is Ukraine itself, which just shows a massive power blackout, basically across the entire country. And this was really a result of in moving Russian missile barrages across the country, directly targeting power and water stations. So let's go to the next one up there on the screen, which is that really what the Russians have pivoted towards is waging war on the ability of the Ukrainian populace to continue to support the war effort. So they have now caused outages in Kyiv, in Lviv, in several other major cities, even in the former city of Kharkiv, which, remember, according to Russia, is technically Russia denying power to their own supposed citizens. Half of Moldova, whose grid is tied to Ukraine, also lost power. So more than 100 missiles and drones in the last 2 weeks have actually rained down across the country, striking power facilities, water facilities, leaving much of Kyiv in the dark for several days. And, you know, again, just to remind everyone, the weather over there has already turned. It's snowing this morning. It is a high of 34 degrees. Basically from now, basically November 15th, I believe up until February, the average high in Ukraine is 35 degrees. So it's freezing cold, and you have millions of people without any access to power. You have stories there of people in hospitals having to perform like open heart surgery, literally by flashlight from their phone. A nightmare. It's a complete nightmare. And again, it's a long and tried and true strategy of militaries that are trying to wage wars, especially from a position of weakness, but with some firepower, which you try and deny the enemy, and its civilian population the capacity to continue to support the war effort. And unfortunately, that is in full swing right now. We are in the middle of the muddy season, or as they say in Russian, Rasputitsa, which famously dogged the Nazis in the invasion of Russia back in the 1940s. Basically, the front line is ground to a halt. There are videos coming out from the front line and from all across Ukraine of Russian soldiers literally trying to drag tanks by hand, like through the mud. It's a disaster. It's just really not going to be possible. The only time to resume fighting is when the ground has become so frozen solid that it can be moved at. And at that point, it's like minus 10 degrees and with wind chill, and people are literally buried in the snow. So it's a very bad situation. Likely the fighting season has relatively stalled at this point. There's been some limited battles, and there probably will be throughout the time, but I think this is a preview of what the next 3 to 4 months of Russia's strategy are going to be. Right. Deny, deny, deny to the enemy, make it miserable as possible to get through the winter, and it's working so far.
That's exactly right. According to Ukrainian intelligence reports, Moscow is running low on precision cruise missiles, but they think they have enough in their arsenal to carry out attacks of a similar scale 3 or 4 more times. So I thought there was a quote here from the U.S. ambassador to the UN, who was talking about, you know, they're basically weaponizing winter. They say Putin's motive could not be more clear and cold-blooded. He is clearly weaponizing winter to inflict immense suffering on the Ukrainian people. He's decided if he can't seize Ukraine by force, he will freeze the country into submission. So that is the calculus here, is to try to hold the lines where they are, to try to inflict as much suffering as possible on the Ukrainian people. And this is coming, you know, this has caused real problems for them. Already you have rolling blackouts instituted across the country for everyone, 4 to 12 hours a day without power. That's how you end up with an image like the one that we ultimately saw. Zelensky has announced a national drive that he's calling points of invincibility, where they have, he's trying to set up thousands of makeshift centers. So when people do lose power, they have somewhere they can go that has heat, that has water, that has phone service, that has internet service, to try to protect the population that way, because there's just no way that you can guarantee that you're not going to be without electricity during the cold winter months for some significant period of time.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Hey guys, ready or not, 2024 is fully upon us now, and Saagar and I have been brainstorming ways that we can really up our game for this critical election.
Yeah, we rely on our premium subs to expand our coverage, to add staff, to upgrade the studio. We just want to give you the best independent coverage of of this election, which is possible. So if you can help us out, become a premium subscriber today, breakingpoints.com, or the link is down here in the description video. It really means the world to us. And if you like what we're all about, this is the best possible way to keep us 100% independent, working only for you.